Hello, this is Heather Wibbels of MassageByHeather.com. I'm a licensed massage therapist in Kentucky and Tennessee. I'd like to take a minute to invite you to view my latest video series. This is going to be a 4-video series, and I'm going to do tips on how to work on a partner's feet. So what we're going to learn today in the first video, we're going to go over the basics of working on the top of the foot and the sole of the foot, and in the second video, with your partner laying face up, we're going to work on the toes. So let me get started and show you some of the techniques we're going to use on the top of the foot and on the sole of the foot. So the first technique we're going to cover is traction of the lower leg and ankle. You're going to want to make sure that when you actually do this footwork that you're at a good height for the table. I have my partner on the table and her feet are at a very comfortable level for my arms. My arms are at about a 90-degree angle here. So that's kind of the height you want your partner to be at when you're working on them and their face up. So the first thing you're going to do to actually traction the ankle is you're going to put your outside hand and wrap it around the ankle like this. I usually take my inside hand and put it up a little bit higher on the calf. And I'm going to pull back slightly, not with my arms, but I'm leaning back with my body. As I do that, I'm applying a slight traction to the lower leg and to the ankle. And it's a really good way to open up the ankle and the lower leg right at first. You can also just do the ankle, hook both hands around and just kind of pull back gently. The next technique we're going to do is actually, while we put lotion on the leg, we're basically going to go up and squeeze and massage the calf a little bit. So I'm just going to push my hands up, palm down, and kind of scoop around the calf and pull out towards the ankle again. As you're doing this with your hand that's on the inside, you can apply some light squeezes going up the calf. Check in with your partner and make sure that the pressure is at a good level. You can also do this on the outside, but there's more muscle to use on the inside. So really doing this technique on the inside is going to be the way to go. It'll feel really good. The next technique, what we're going to do is actually just circle the ankles. So I have my hands, the flat parts of my fingers on both hands, and I'm just going to circle the ankles a little bit. For this technique, what I'm going to have you do is take 2 thumbs and put them on the base of the foot. You're going to curl your fingers around the top and you're going to push in with your thumbs and pull out with your fingers, and you're just going to spread all of the bones in here in the foot. So again, what I'm doing is I have my fingers, my 2 thumbs together. They're on the ball of the foot, on the lower part of the ball of the foot, and I'm just pushing in a little bit with those and spreading out the tarsal bones around my thumbs as I do that. Another technique you can use is actually a more invigorating technique. You can put your hands on either side, the flat part of your hands on either side of the foot. So I've got one hand over here on the side of the big toe and another hand over here on the outside of the little toe. And you're just going to shake your hands back and forth really quick. It's kind of a friction move. It brings some blood flow to the lower leg. It also feels good and moves all the foot bones around in there by kind of squishing them and pushing them against one another. This is a good combination move to do between this and the metatarsal spread, which was this one where we pressed in and pulled out. Another technique you can use is to take both sets of the pads of your fingers and put them in the valley that occurs between all the toe bones that come out from the foot down to the toes. So you're basically just going to put your fingers in there and rub them back and forth kind of quickly. This is going to be a little bit of a friction move. It's going to move the tissue on the top surface of the foot and feel really good to the person that you're working on. So all I'm doing is going from one valley to the next, one of these little valleys of the tissue between the 2 tarsal bones. A broad technique you can use on the sole of the foot is actually to use your knuckles and your palm to squeeze in the arch. I put a little bit of lotion on my hands and I'm going to roll my palm and the thenar pad, my thumb pad, against the arch of the foot. And if you'll notice as I'm doing this, I'm leaning forward with my body as I press in instead of just moving my hands, which will feel good, but it will tire you out much faster. If the person you're working on tends to like deeper pressure in their arch, instead of just using the palm on the sole and the arch of the foot, you can actually use the knuckles. So put your hand into a soft fist and push it up and down in the arch of the foot. If your other hand holds the top of the foot, you can brace top of the foot, and this will control the amount of pressure you're actually putting on the bottom of the foot. So you may want to hang out here. This usually feels pretty good. Another technique you can use on the bottom of the foot is to make small circles with your thumb. So take your thumbs and simply start a line of small circles. I usually follow from the heel up to the toe and do one line per toe. So I do 5 lines of thumb circles. And as you can see here, I'm not really pressing very hard. I'm using this technique with my hands cupped around the top of the hand so that as I move upwards, I'm not pressing into the foot without any support. I'm pressing into my own fingers. So continue this and go on up each of the toes. If your thumbs get tired, skip ahead and move to the next technique. Don't hurt your thumbs. Another technique you can use on the sole of the foot is horizontal stripping. We're going to use our thumbs again for this. You're going to take your thumbs and grab both sides of the foot like this. You're just going to pull outwards and stretch the tissue. You can pull out and stretch in. You can alternate thumbs going up and down. Again, with this technique, I do have my fingers wrapped around the top of the foot so that as I do this, I'm pressing into my own fingers. I'm not just pressing into the foot. The foot can be kind of floppy sometimes, so if I just press straight into the foot, I wouldn't have a steady pressure. It wouldn't feel as good. Once you're finished doing the stripping horizontally of the surface of the foot, the sole of the foot, we're going to do stripping up and down the foot. So just like we did thumb circles going up the foot, we're going to actually take and put both of our thumbs together and just press up the line of the bone that goes up into the toe. So starting at the heel, and I'm just drawing a line with both thumbs. Make sure you're using both thumbs together and going up to the toes. And as you're doing this, make sure that your partner is okay with the pressure that you're using. And you don't have to worry about the toes today. We're going to get to the toes in the next video. So we just finished looking at massage techniques for the top of the foot and the sole of the foot. In the second foot video, what we're going to cover is specific work on the toes. So tune in to the next video and you'll learn more about working on the toes with your partner face up. Thanks so much. This is Heather Wibbels at massagebyheather.com.